You will change everything about your life, will be at a different level of vibration. Okay, so this is all about vibration, and you will start a journey in your life that God will present to you that you had no idea was ever going to happen. And that's what happened to me. So the journey is, I decided in my late 50s to take up salsa dancing. And I was dancing with 18-year-olds, 18-year-olds in professional performance. And after I did that and achieved that, I said, oh, now I'm in my late 50s and I'm going to take up ballet. So I took up ballet and I overextended the backs of my legs. And my legs were completely swollen and I could not bend them back. And I was doing yoga and all these things and I was like, what am I going to do? And one of my best girlfriends, Julie, said, hey, come on over. I'm a professional ballroom dancer, and lay on this mat. And I'm like, what? So she had it in a chair lounger. I went over there, and I literally could barely walk. And today, I'm walking fine. But what happened was she had me lay on this mat. I got up after 8 minutes, and I bent my legs back. And everything was gone. And I'm like, this is magic. How is that possible? And then I stood firm on the ground, and I went, wait a minute. I don't feel in resonance with the earth. And I had been trained very young that you always want to be grounded, and you want to be in resonance with the earth, meaning solid, so you feel planted on the ground. And so I thought about it. I went home and I said, what is this? I started researching PEMF, and I found all kinds of different information. And I was a little bit stunned that I didn't know what it was. And I talked to this man in New York. And he said, Pamela, you're very interested in this. There's going to be an amazing, intelligent man who's an inventor and founder of PEMF. Wolfgang Jaksch in La Brea, California. I said, wow, I'm only about 20 minutes from there. He said, go meet him. So I went, and I came to a small room like this, and there was Terry, and I think Michael was there. I remember those two people, and of course, Veronica and Wolfgang. And I sat in the back of the room, and I happened to sit by Veronica, Wolfgang's wife. And I said to her, you know, my girlfriend had this machine, but they were getting heart palpitations. Is there a difference in all this technology? And she said, yes, go ask Wolfgang after the meeting. So after the meeting, I went up and I spoke with Wolfgang, and I said, you know, my girlfriend has this technology. Why should we buy yours? Why is yours any better than anything else? I want the best. And he did. He explained to us about the triple sawtooth waveform. She had no clue. She had bought something blind. She didn't know what she had bought, and she had it, and her mom ended up with very subtle heart palpitations in her heart. And I certainly didn't want that. So when I spoke with Wolfgang, he explained to me that this PEMF with the triple sawtooth waveform, with the copper coils that are insulated, was the most safe, effective, but powerful device. So you couldn't hurt yourself, you couldn't hurt your pets, you couldn't hurt your children, and you couldn't hurt your grandmother. So I said, okay, I'm in. And I just felt intuitively it was the right place. And I think for most of you in this room, you are amongst probably the most, I feel, intelligent minds, intuitive people that are brought to work with other people as healers. It's a gift, first to heal yourself and then help others. So what happened is I bought the Omnium 1, so that's the first edition. And I actually bought one for myself, and at that time, JD, my beloved partner and significant love of my life and husband, we were traveling the world. And we were traveling for a company called Child Life, and JD was the CEO, and this is the beginning of the adventure. So JD came from Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania, and he came from there to be in the movies, and he started in that Pippi Longstockings. Did you see the first little slide? That's Pippi. If any of you know of Pippi Longstockings, she goes on an adventure, and she has these magical powers, and she throws JD on the roof, and she can do anything she wants. So I started this adventure, and all of a sudden, I found myself working with people. I was trained at the cancer convention in handheld far infrared. So I was laying people down on the mat, excuse me, and as I would lay them, I would do the far infrared on their bodies. And lo and behold, their tumors were gone. And I was like, this is like Pippi. She's got magic powers. How is this happening? I really didn't know, but I went to the next meeting with Wolfgang, and I said, Wolfgang, is there any way you can put this far infrared in this PEMF mat? And this was a very thin mat. It was PEMF only. And he said, Pamela, I'm working on it, but you're trying to take a Volkswagen to a Mercedes. And I said, please do it, because I'm having to spend, an hour and a half. And if I tell a doctor to do that, they're like, I don't have an hour and a half to treat somebody. We need efficiency. So every year, this is pre-COVID, twice a year, we'd go to a meeting like this. We'd sit in a room, and I'd beg him. And I said, Wolfgang, when are you going to get it done? Please do it. So finally, during COVID, he did it. And lo and behold, I had no idea he was doing it for me, meaning my own backyard and my own family. What happened is JD had swelling, and he had swelling in his feet because we were traveling a lot. And what happened was he went in for a simple kidney biopsy. And when he went in for that biopsy during COVID, they sliced the 3 arteries to his kidneys, and they left him bleed out to die. So if you show the next slide, who can do that? On the next slide, it'll show you. And during that time, I was told, Pamela, he's going to have a massive heart attack and die. So I said, not on my watch. This is a simple kidney biopsy, a 1 needle, okay? So, and he would, no, you were in a 10-day coma. He didn't know who he was. He was literally like this. Now, what they did is, go ahead, Wolfgang, the next one. They hooked him up to the COVIDian ventilator. Now, he didn't have COVID. Why the COVIDian? Then they hooked him up next to the slow drip dialysis machine. So what they do sometimes, they make mistakes, so-called, but they didn't do it to just JD. They did it to several people. So I knew in my heart it wasn't his time to go. And basically what happened is I demanded that they put him in surgery, and they did. And I brought him home. And after 3 months, he was in the hospital. I brought him home, and I gradually got him back on the mat. That whole year, he was in and out 13 times. Now, if you can imagine, if your kidneys bleed out, you basically have no kidney function. He couldn't walk or talk. We got him back, walking and talking. Go ahead. Then they gave him meds, to lower the blood pressure. And when they did that, he broke his arm, broke his leg, fell, and many times he'd fall on somebody's car. He'd just fall splat. And I'd bring him home and put him on the PEMF because I didn't want to go back to the hospital. I didn't trust hospitals. So anyways, we're wrapped around here now. We are 4 years later. JD's heart ejection fraction was at 1.5, 1.4, and it is now back at 45. Normal's about 60. So this is just from energy medicine, okay? I have so many things I can share with you. Feel free to come up to me. And there's JD today. He's right here in the audience. So PEMF not only saves you, it saves your family, your pets, your friends, and
Saved my life.
it saves lives. Thank you.